Hello everybody, I'm Mark with Running in Japan. Right now you are looking at all the people that participated inside the Tokyo Marathon 2025 Shakeout run. These people are from the groups Black and Major and Midstrike magazine. As you can see, we all congregated the day before the Tokyo Marathon outside of the Imperial Palace in central Tokyo. And this is the Ottoman Gate that we had met at. And before we get started, Zaire is going to give the commencement speech.
Welcome to the Midstrike Black and Major Shakeout. This is going to be a fun run. We're just here to celebrate everyone here who's black, brown, running the world majors. I also just want to say that regardless of anything, we are major.
Yes!
Major across the world.
Talk about it.
This is who we are. We are excellent black folks, black and brown folks, all together. And I'm so happy to see all these faces around here. You know, as a black man myself, this is the first time out in Tokyo, seeing all these beautiful people. I'm so excited to see you guys here. Oh man, it just puts a smile on my face. You know, and just to see each other out there on the course tomorrow, I want to make sure you guys see each other, lock eyes, put up the fist, and just acknowledge each other. One of the things I want to talk about is like, just enjoy this run. This run is going to be fun. There's a lot of people who run here with purpose and stats and all that stuff. That stuff is great. But I wanted to make sure, I was telling myself this last night, that I want to make sure I smell my own flowers. I'm not going to wait for anybody else to give me flowers, you know, so celebrate yourself while you're running. Some of you guys here are getting your first marathon or accomplishing that 6-star. Anybody who is getting their 6-star, I want them to come right here. Get these pictures of these beautiful people here.
So these people that you see before you, these are the 6-star finishers, or would have been after this date when they ran the Tokyo Marathon 2025 the next date. And I got to take a majority of their photos, the people from Black and Major, from the Midstrike magazine, and the 6-star finishers. And I'll share those photos with you guys inside of another video. But this video is me giving my commentary track over this shakeout run around the Imperial Palace. You guys can see this guy inside the blue shirt right here. He was a pretty cool dude. He's not really on social media like that, and I'm not really going to put his name out there like that. We're just going to call him Jay as a nickname. That's Jay right there in the blue shirt and the red skull cap. Jay was a pretty cool dude. Not even going to state where he's from. Just let everything be a mystery. But I'll talk about him a little bit. He was a nice guy to lead this run with. I did not want to necessarily be the leader of this run. But there is a particular point at the Imperial Palace where everybody should be finishing at. And if I am not the first person to be at the head of the line and to stop everybody from running past the finish point, then everybody's just going to run past the finish point. I had to direct them inside of a particular gate where we all finished at and congregated so that we can stretch and take another group photo at the very end there. But yeah, this is a very nice run. And you guys would not believe me if I told you, but I have actually recorded this run with my GoPro camera. This is in the past month and a half now. In the past month and a half, I recorded this run maybe a total of 6 times. In all 6 times, something had went wrong with the footage. Mainly, the thing that had went wrong with the footage is because I'm trying to record. At first, I tried to record in 4K, 60 frames a second. The GoPro just can't go beyond 17 minutes for whatever reason. It just goes to 17 minutes and it stops. And the run that I'm usually doing is taking about 30 minutes to 35 minutes to go around the whole course of 5 kilometers, because I'm doing it at a jog run pace, at a comfortable pace, because I want to record the sights so that you guys can take in the sights and see what Tokyo looks like. I don't want to just go blasting through here, but I want to go at a comfortable pace. I want to turn the camera around multiple times, show you what you're looking at on the left, show you what you're looking at on the right, and I want to be like a real proper bona fide tour guide with the camera, but it keeps turning off after 17 minutes. So the first time, 4K 60 frames a second, I was like, okay, that's no good. So let me just go to 4K 30 frames a second. And it seemed to have run into the exact same problem. The camera just gets to 17 minutes, even on a full battery charge, and the thing just turns off for whatever reason, which is halfway inside the run. So you don't even get the complete run. So I was messing with settings, and I did this run no less than 6 times. This is probably the 6th time right here. I said, you know what? The only way I can get this run is if I decrease all of my settings, if I just put it on 1080p, 60 frames a second, which is going to be lower quality than 4K. I wanted the 4K because this really is a beautiful run. But, I have to take the hit just so that I can get the full video. So, this is the beginning of our run that you're looking at here. And as you guys can see from those beginning photos at the very beginning of this video, it was quite a number of people that had participated inside of this run. Now, we do have some people inside of our crew that kept passing me from time to time. I don't remember what this pace was, but it was really a fast pace throughout the run, and I had to keep reminding people, hey, listen, this is not a race. This is not the marathon. You're not going for gold here. Please slow down, save it for tomorrow. I had to tell people this multiple times. Right now, I believe to my left, I got Jay running alongside me. I speak to him later inside of this run, and I think I'm speaking to him now, actually, but to say the least, I didn't want to put our conversation out there, so I just got the whole video muted, and I'm just going to give my commentary over this video. You guys can see other people that are not members of our group. They're just hightailing it, just running fast. There goes Jay right there to the left. This is really a beautiful run when you do it when the trees actually have something on them. I believe end of March, end of this month, beginning of April, these trees are going to have cherry blossoms on them. And it looks absolutely amazing. As well as in the peak fall season, right before the leaves fall off the trees, when they all change to multiple colors, it looks amazing as well. And in fact, even in summer, when the trees are not a special color, when it's just green, it looks amazing almost any time of the year, except for winter when it's just barren like this and the trees are stripped of the leaves. But it's absolutely an amazing sight to behold. Here we are running the Imperial Palace run the proper way. If you do the whole thing completely from the point where you start and you finish at the exact same spot, it's essentially exactly 5 kilometers, which is 3 miles. And the way that I like to run it, I usually run it counterclockwise, but the way that the Japanese people run it, and the majority of everybody, they run it the clockwise way. No, wait, man, I'm so bad. They run it the counterclockwise way. I run it the clockwise way. I can't believe I messed that up. We can edit that out and do this again, right? All right, so anyways, this is us running counterclockwise. And for the most part, this run is flat. But when you get to the point of no return, there is one hill that goes up and then it goes back down again. And obviously what goes up must come down. So regardless of which direction you run in, you're gonna face that hill. We're pretty much climbing the hill right now, but it's such a small incremental climb that inside of this video you can't even really see that we're even climbing at all. But for this counterclockwise run, when we go down, the downhill is pretty steep, so you guys might be able to tell on camera that we are going downhill just because of how steep it is. This dude is pretty cool right here, All Day Mark J. I believe that is his Instagram handle. He might want some followers on the Instagram app, so just make sure you go out there and follow him. He was a cool dude. I took his photo the day after the race. Had to make sure he didn't go too fast. All right. The really nice thing about this run is just that there's just pedestrians only, mostly runners, some walkers, but there are no cars. Anytime that you could find any place in Tokyo, Japan, a running route that you can run on where there's no traffic and you don't have to stop at traffic lights, it is a godsend, because Tokyo is just so full of people and there's not an abundance of space that you're gonna have to run through traffic at some point in time. So this is a godsend to have this in central Tokyo. This is ground zero, the Imperial Palace. And if you don't know what the Imperial Palace is, obviously just based on the name Imperial, we have the Emperor's residence inside of those grounds to the left. There's a moat that goes around the whole grounds, and then inside the center of this gigantic park is his living quarters. But pedestrians are not allowed to make it that far to where he lives. There are police surrounding every entrance. I think this little guard thing right here to the left, there's a police that we just passed. There are police around the entire perimeter, and they're here working 24 hours a day guarding this place and making sure that nobody goes inside of there to mess with the emperor at any point in time. So, but his house is in there. As well as his house, there's museums on the inside, there's gardens, walking paths, there's a multitude of things that you can go inside of there and see. And you can end up getting lost inside of that place. And to walk around the entirety of it, minus the places that you don't have access to, it could easily take 2 to 3, possibly 4 hours. 4 hours might be a stretch. I mean, you really have to be taking in sights and just stopping and looking at every little bits and bobs and looking at all the flora and fauna inside of there, looking at every tree, looking at absolutely everything, every building, every museum. Yeah, 4 hours is a bit of a stretch, but 2 to 3 hours you can go through there and experience it. It's a really nice thing to do on a day that you have off. And for those of you that are new to the channel, look, he's stopping to take photos. I might turn the camera left just to show you guys what is to the left here. I hope I do, because it's beautiful. There we go. There goes that moat that I was talking about. And you got those trees lining that city in the background. Right, so anyways, get back on this run. Here we are kind of doing a little bit of an incline here. And this is probably the worst part of the run. Not because it's incline, but because this is the narrowest part of the sidewalk is where we are now. And you guys can also see that these trees are grown quite large, and some of the trees have grown so large to the point that, you know, the ground starts lifting up. Even there's concrete or whatever this is, asphalt. I get all this stuff mixed up. Whatever this hard stuff is that we're running on, rocks, gravel just kind of crushed up together. The ground kind of lifts up in those areas, so you just got to be cautious of where you're running and just make sure that you don't trip yourself up and get hurt. But aside from that, you know, where we're running at now, you just stick to the left and you'll be okay. But this is also the protocol of Japan. You definitely just want to stick to the left because everybody stays to the left. It's like driving a car inside of Japan. You drive on the left-hand side, you run on the left-hand side, walk on the left-hand side. So it's just a courtesy thing, and we try to stay single file to the left so that the runners that are going clockwise also pass us on the left, and we are not gonna run into them. Pedestrians as well. If we haven't already passed it, I believe to my left, I didn't tilt the camera to actually show them. It's almost like a little small police station there where all the police rest and have a rest stop and they congregate, have their meetings, whatnot, all of that good stuff. But that's inside of the vicinity of where we are right now at the immediate moment. And we are pretty much a little bit past the halfway point. Given we did not do the full 5 kilometers because where we started at the Ottoman Gate, this is something that I want to talk about. Where we had started at the Ottoman Gate is not the ideal place where we should have started at. But this Shakeout run was mainly organized by Black and Major and Midstrike magazine. If they had the opportunity to consult with me before they had picked out the place where we are going to finish at, I would have told them that that is the place that we needed to start at, just because there is an abundance of space there where people can stretch and exercise, and we're stopping at this point in time just because we were moving so fast. Have to let the other runners catch up. So let's get back to it. So the point where you finish at should have been the point where we started at, but I'm the only resident, the only bona fide resident inside of the group that actually lives in Tokyo, Japan. I've been here for 21 years. So I know this, and unfortunately they didn't know it. And once they had chosen the Ottoman Gate as the meeting point, it's already too late to change the meeting point at that point in time, because people would just get confused. It would be half the people meeting at where I wanted them to meet at, and then the other half that had only saw the Ottoman Gate message and meeting at the Ottoman Gate. So it would have just divided us. So it was better just to meet at the Ottoman Gate, everybody, and just finish at the proper finish line, which is not the full 5 kilometers. I think, let me pull up my Strava app, and I should have inside of here how far we did. All right, I got my activities coming up right now. The distance that we ran was 3.7 kilometers, so we missed out on 1.3 kilometers. So we did not go the full way. And I'll throw up a little map somewhere inside of this video so that you guys can see the route that we ran, where we started and where we had ended at. But yeah, ideally I would have liked these guys to have started at the proper location. So here we are going downhill. You guys can see another policeman right there. And we got our boy Jay leading right here. Tokyo is just absolutely beautiful. The meeting time that we all had met at, if I could pull this up, I believe it was at 9:30 a.m. in the morning. We had our little motivational speech from Zaire. We were going to stretch, but because we were kind of blocking other people from entering and exiting the Ottoman gate, they didn't really allow us to stretch. So all of us had just started the run without giving any kind of stretch before we did it. So it was a good thing that we go at a slow pace, not to injure ourselves, because we did not have any type of warm-up, and it's the day before a marathon. So just had to be very cautious of that. You guys could see that we're going on the decline right now, and you guys can still see this beautiful moat that is going all around the Imperial Palace grounds. And here we are approaching. When you make it to the very bottom of this hill, right before the finish, is essentially the Ginza area, which is like the Beverly Hills area of Tokyo, Japan. And Ginza is just the neighborhood or the district. I'm saying here, I'm showing my face just so that you guys know that it's me doing the run. Make sure that I'm not making it up and just showing somebody else. But yeah, right down there straight ahead, that is the Ginza district, and Ginza is the neighborhood or district that is bordering Tokyo Station proper. It is just one station away from Tokyo Station. By train, you could get from Tokyo to Ginza in 2 minutes, if not less than that. I know he's saying something to me right now about how fast we're going. Just got to take it easy. It was an absolutely beautiful day for a shakeout run. And the day following this, March 2nd, 2025, was a beautiful day for a marathon. It was the most perfect running weather that anybody could have possibly asked for. And surprisingly, the day after the marathon on March 3rd was the coldest day that anybody could have asked for. I can't tell you in Fahrenheit, but in Celsius, I'm going off of memory here. I just remember it was hot. It was like 16 or 17 degrees Celsius the day of the marathon. And it went from 16 or 17 and it dropped down to like 5 and 4 degrees Celsius the very next day. It got so cold and it was raining that it had actually started to snow. It is absolutely crazy and monstrous how the weather could just change that fast from absolutely perfect weather to your absolute worst nightmare within 24 hours. Global warming is real. You could just ask anybody else that had did this run. They will let you know that it was something else the next day. Bitter cold. I think another reason that I like doing the counterclockwise run, doing the clockwise run, it keeps coming out my mouth the wrong way. We're doing counterclockwise, but the reason that I personally like doing the clockwise run is because I think the view, the eye candy that you get from doing it that way looks a little bit better. The perspective of you running up on the buildings, that skyline right there, that Tokyo skyline, when it's approaching your field of view in your peripheral, it's something to behold. I mean, it's beautiful both ways, don't get me wrong, because we're looking at it right now and it's just going to get better and better and better. But when you go the opposite way around, yeah, it looks really nice. Really nice. Now that I'm thinking about this inside of my mind, mentally, I do want to say that this is probably the ideal way to go. Because if you had to do this incline, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do it this way. Whereas, sorry, man, I keep messing this up. Yeah, if you're going clockwise and you're running up this hill, see, this is where we need to stop right here. You need to stop and turn left and go inside of that gate. But if I didn't stop people here, if I didn't stop and start directing them on the inside, they would have continued running on straight, and I don't want people to run that way. I want them to run inside of the gate. So anyways, what I was saying is that, you know, when you go clockwise and you go up this hill, it's a lot more steep. But the way that everybody runs, including the majority of Japanese people, it's a steady incline going the way that we had went. And it's a fast descent going downhill. So here we are going inside of gate 1. You get inside of there and then you just turn right and you go through gate 2, and then that's the finishing point. I'm so glad that I finally got to show this run off for the first time on this YouTube channel. This is a failed video that I failed to make 5 times prior to this. So you run through this second gate. The moment you make it through there, this is the finishing point. So you guys can see the abundance of space inside of here. You're not blocking anybody. You got time to take a photo. This is our after run photo. This is all the Black and Major crew, Midstrike magazine. And this is my photo with Jay. Alright everybody, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video. If you'd like to see more of my Tokyo Marathon 2025 coverage, why don't you go ahead and click on this video right here.